Welcome students, welcome again to this next video lecture. So we were discussing about the barriers to communication. So the point that is that we were discussed, that is bypassing. This is one of the barriers to communication. We have already discussed this issue, this point, or this communication barrier in previous video lecture. So again I'm going to repeat this point. So what is this bypassing? See here. So bypassing is when someone is dropped from or ignored in the organizational change. Now I have listed a whole bunch of things here that lowest has provided and the situation. When people bypass their colleagues or analysis, read them out from here. So let's just focus on this slide. We will talk about bypassing in the last class, but this is different. This is when you deliberately leave somebody out a conversation. And why do you do that? When it is necessary to get things done faster, when it is easier to instruct the operator than to train the supervisor, when there is an emergency, when the supervisor tries to corral more responsibility, when an employee has excessive ambition to get ahead by fair means of fall, when supervisors are so hard to deal with, they invite being bypassed by superiors or subordinates. When the supervisor now reasons why people bypass in an organization. When the supervisor has differences, we are discussing about reasons why people bypass in an organization. So reasons are when supervisor has difference with another supervisor on the same level and bypass him or her to avoid contact, when misunderstanding exists between supervisor and subordinate and the subordinate goes to the supervisor's boss to tell the story, when the channel jumper, the person who has jumped the channel, wants to punish or discipline the person jumped, when the subordinates feel that they are being held back by their supervisor or their ability is being overlooked, when subordinates are afraid of some specific action by the immediate supervisor, when subordinates feel that their supervisor is either overcritical or unfair. Again, when subordinates feel, another reasons are given why people bypass in an organization. So reasons are when subordinate people bypass in an organization when subordinates feel that their supervisor is not doing the job and making the right decisions or making the right decisions, when the superior feels that the subordinate is not carrying out instructions, when the superior lacks confidence in the subordinate's ability, when the entire organization has fallen into the habit of channel jumping, when the jumper is ignorant of chain of command protocol or procedure, when position specifications, jobs description and organizations charts are smuggled and the lines of authority are not clear, when a superior steps in to issue orders or to correct difficulties during the subordinate absence. These are some of the situations in which people may end up bypassing others in the organization. Another issue is, so we just come here, another issue, that is blinderness. You know, blinders, when horses are given these little things on the side to make sure that they focus only on the road ahead of them. So these are called blinder, and this results in panel vision, or we may say tunnel vision, and they can only see the road in front of them and nothing around them, and everything around could be going, but there is sort they stay on the path, and it is a term coined by William V. Haney. And the manager who appears to be wearing blinders is prevented from seeing more than one way of doing something, just like a horse wearing blinders sees only the paths that hears see on, and and follows the path that here. She has been trained to follow similar. The manager, who is perceived to be wearing blinders, sees only one aspect, one side of the situation, one way of doing things in the organization. Okay, so examples of blinderness here. Now it's an interesting exercise for you here. Some examples of blinderness. I have two exercise for you over here, and we have just focus on this. The first one is I would like you to try to connect these 9 dots. It's already uh, given, means you can take draw their 9 dots by drawing 4 straight lines. And how do you do that? So what you do is let you figure this out on your own, and I would like you teach to pause for a second and let the student try this on their own, and I will do it for you, and I will show this afterwards in your class. So what is our tendency? We will say they maybe this can 3 dots can be connected, this can be connected, but how do I connect all 9? Maybe you done it in some class or creative writings, or on in some class on creative thinking or something. So I will just want to show that we think in limited way. And what you do is this, what you do, you draw a line. I have taken means there are 3 lines, and you have to uh, combine it, you have to attach it those 3 lines without picking a pencil. So you may do this, or you may show on YouTube how to connect 9 dots without picking a pen, and it is impossible because we can't join those 9 dots properly, but we can be successful when we draw one line furthermore. Okay, so this is the thing that we do, and it is possible when we think out of the box. Okay, now here is the square, this is the square, and we have 9 squares. Now you to reduce these 9 squares, you need to reduce these 9 squares by removing 8 lines. How you do it? Think about a minute, and I will tell you. So see here, remove this line. Sorry, see here, remove this line, then remove this line, then remove this line, this line. In this way, just remove these lines. Sorry, let's go to next slide. Here, then remove this line, then this one, means in this way you may remove these all lines, and you will get this square only. And bigger one is the this one. So this is we will remove this, and we may remove this one, and so this is an example of blindness. We tend to think, we keep thinking, how will I reach this conclusion? Similar thing happens when you are trying to solve problems in any organization. We need to start looking for things out of the ordinary. We need to start thinking outside the box. Okay, so another issue is that defensiveness. Defensiveness is another issue, another barrier to organizational communication. So defensiveness is an act of protecting one's own views. It may present a somewhat hostile environment in hostile emotional state of mind. When we say we are defensive and fiercely protecting my own views and fiercely defending my point of view, and when I say defending, I wear this armor, and I'm like let whatever is coming my way, and I will deal with it, and I will fight back. That is called your defensiveness. And when we say we are defensive, the word defensive essentially has a negative connotation. It connotes emotional aggressiveness and anger, and I'm just wall that we push people out of. The cause to defensiveness are a challenge to our own self-image. We feel that our self-image or self-concept is somehow our sense of identity that we talked about, and one of the previous lectures, okay, is being challenged or is being hurt by somebody. So one more cause for this is the inability of most people to tolerate differences in other. We in the people are the same. They think exactly like us. They are the same biases. They have the same training. They have the same principles and value systems and all of that. and we have a hard time tolerating these differences in people, and that can result in defensiveness. Okay, so here it is a defensiveness. Hmm? So see another slide here, another slide that is belong to defensive climates. Okay, some defensive climates, some things that can cause defensiveness in people are: one is evaluation. We talked about the tendency to evaluate, and in one of the previous classes. The other issue is control, which is somebody trying to tell you that whatever you're doing is not right. You know, you must do things in certain way. When somebody says and forces you to do things certain way, it is implied in that conversation, it is implied in that message, it is implicit in all attempts to alter another person, is the assumption of the change agent. Okay, that the person to be altered is inadequate, which means that whatever you are doing is not right. That's why you need to change people. You need to change. People will say, no, you're doing it right, but I can tell you something better, which means that you feel you know what is this. I mean, once yes is there, once you feel that it's good, then there is improvement. We all are open to improve, we are all open to change, but at point I may be doing something right, but when a person is constantly telling you to change, some people is constantly trying to control things, do things a certain way, followed this procedure and another, you feel, why should I not use my own brain? Something similar to this was a dialogue in the movie's Fashion. I do not know by the time you all watch this, you know Fashion is Hindi movie that was screened few years ago, and in that movie there was dialogue in which, you know, it is about modeling and the fashion industry, and one of the models says, you know, we are all treated like hangers. We are not supposed to think. There is an episode in which Priyanka Chopra tries to wear the dress in another manner, in a manner different than the one that the designer didn't ended, and the designer shouts at her and asks her to get out, and her colleagues then end up saying that we are just treated like hangers. So that is control. Now strategy is manipulation. Strategy is manipulation. When we talk about manipulation, we are essentially talking about somebody trying go behind her back and doing things in a not so ethical manner. Hmm? That is called a manipulation. Then neutrality is detachment. Many times what managers do is they are neutral to the environment, the detachment themselves, they have a couldn't careless, they have careless attitude, and that can create a difference of climate. You know what is this, why it hasn't shown so care about us. So superiority is the perception of superiority of some members over others. We feel that we are more, our value system is better than others, we know things better, we are experts, we are better people, better human beings than others. Okay, and certainty is this constant need to always be right. Yes, we need to do things efficiently, but at some point we need to draw a line and say it is to be not right all the times. You know, I need to explore other options, but there is a constant need and constant climate, constant environment of you having to be right at all times. It can create a defensiveness in the employees that can prevent them from opening up about their problems, their issues, and so on and so forth. Okay, so managerial unconcern is another one, and causes uh, unconcern. Unconcern means lack of concern. That causes for these are: one is failure to transmit messages, because managers assume everyone knows are just not going in the direction they are intended for, because managers assume everybody knows what is being done. Managers are lazy or tends to procrastinate, put things off for later time. Managers do not want to let go of the information they have. They feel that information is power, so they do not share this information. Okay, so next is organizational culture. Okay, organized culture doesn't encourage and facilitate optimum quality of two-way communication. This is what I was referring to in the beginning of the lecture, where I said people say we have a perfect system of organization communication. Okay, that organization communication message go up and they go down, and reports come to back come back to us, orders go down, and the hierarchy. So that is not really an optimal two-way communication. Again, preoccupation. Okay, preoccupation is a high volume of intrapersonal communication. Hmm? This is we were thinking about, talking about. So preoccupation, yes, here it is a preoccupation. Preoccupation is a high volume of intrapersonal communication. I am constantly thinking of something else. That is preoccupation. Something else is going on in my mind at all times. So when somebody sends me a message, somebody tries to talk to me, somebody writes to me, I have a hard time interpreting whatever they are saying, because there are so much going on in my mind. I am preoccupied, I am thinking about something else all the time. The next is mind wandering. Mind wandering is what happens, poor attention span. This is what happens when you are forced to sit through a lecture, 1 hour long lecture on communication barriers, and your minds must be wandering right now, and you must be waiting from this lecture to finish, and it is just a few minutes more, so that it is a limited attention span. Okay, so there are cures for organizational barriers to communication. There are some cures. What are some cures? Some cures, that is status relationship. First is status relationship. We talked about problems coming up because we perceive people at a different status than us. The status relationship problem can be overcome by treated an atmosphere of communicative approval in the organization, so that messages are not in constant competition upward and downward. We can approve, we can encourage people to talk about themselves. We can encourage people to ignore the status and hierarchy and discuss things freely. The next is the lack of understanding. The lack of understanding issue can be dealt with by enhancing interaction, encouraging interaction among various work groups, and the roles of employees can be clearly defined. We have more informal meetings and stuff. Specialization of tasks can be changed, can be dealt with by encouraging open and participative decision making. You encourage more and more people to contribute to the decision, and training across specializations, encouraging more people to be trained in other kinds of areas. It may help us well. The next is information ownership. Information ownership is instilling pride. Information ownership is Information ownership is instilling pride in group work and a demonstration of the need for accomplishment by cooperation with other members of the organization. Okay, so make them feel good about. Okay, you know that you make them feel good about whatever we do. That is faulty transmission of messages. Faulty transmission of messages can be dealt with by reducing the number of levels within the organization. Number of levels means there are superior, junior, these are the levels, and which may or may not be possible always. And it can also be dealt with by encouraging employees to take notes on what is said and then in confirming the information we have received. So you repeat whatever they have noted down. We use audio visual aids and let them and give them periodic reinforcement of key messages, and you can deliberately slow down the instructions giving in process to let the information sink in. Okay, so next is bypassing. We are thinking cures, we are thinking about cures to organized barriers to communication, means overcoming ways. We are same time we are discussing the barriers, and at the same time we are discussing about the cures. Okay, so bypassing reasons may be discovered by asking three questions. Why was I bypassed by my subordinate or superior? Does my being bypassed indicate that I am not handling my job properly? What must I do to prevent bypassing from recurring or and blinderness? And so all these things can help us deal with bypassing. Blinderness can be dealt with by accepting and appreciating other people's point of view. Then defensiveness. Defensiveness can be dealt with by creating supportive climates. And how can we do this? One is description, which is non-judgmental behavior. Creating this environment of non-judgmental behavior, not judging people. Problem orientation. Okay, next is problem orientation. You communicate a desire to collaborate in defining a mutual problem, and then seeking it is solution rather than forcing everything down people's throat. Spontaneity, which means non manipulation. We were not constantly planning things ahead of time. We are spontaneously reacting to situations, and that can create a supportive climate in the organization. Empathy, thinking in the other person's uh, empathy means thinking in the other person's shoes. Equality, as opposed to a strictly hierarchical system. And provisionalism, which is the willingness to accept and experiment with different behaviors, attitudes, beliefs and ideas. Even on your own, you want to figure out what is going on, and you want to experiment with different ideas, belief systems, etc. Preoccupation. Preoccupation can be dealt with by actively reducing the amount of intrapersonal communication, actively removing the intrapersonal noise in our minds to allow for interpersonal communication. I'm thinking of lesser things so I can talk more with people. Then, mind wandering. It can be dealt with by realizing the significance of being attentive to one's work and colleagues, and actively focusing on the messages being received. So instead of thinking of this and that, we just focus on the matter at hand. Again, there are some more barriers to communication. And these barriers are social barriers. Social barriers, etc. We will deal with this next time. So these are several barriers. Those include social barriers, cultural barriers, language barriers, gender barriers, interpersonal barriers, and barriers related to the medium of transmission of the message. So, but now I want you to discuss and reflect on a few things. I would like you to reflect on the organizational barrier problems you may have faced due to the problems with the communication in your organization. And I also want you to discuss in your class, see how you can resolve and minimize these problems based on what you know about organizational communication. And we will finish this class on organizational communication barriers next time. Thank you.